Here's a familiar sight in any military installation in the world. If you're a young man thinking about what military life is like, you're probably thinking you'll be doing a lot of drilling. And you will, especially in your early weeks of training. No matter what branch of service you might get into, no matter what other specialized training you receive, you'll spend a lot of time learning how to drill and drilling. Even the ladies do it, and do it well. You may have wondered why the armed forces put so much emphasis on drilling. This isn't the way a modern army goes into battle, so what are they training for? Now, it does look good in a parade. But then, this isn't what men are being trained for, to look good in a parade. Of course, they do look good. Somehow you know that whatever situation they're faced with, they'll give a good account of themselves. They'll meet the job and do the job as good soldiers. And these men are learning to be good soldiers. For one of the main characteristics of military life is discipline. With all the other skills a soldier learns, discipline, which began on the drill field, pays off here. In the same way, discipline learned on the parade ground pays off here, when men of many skills must click as a team. Discipline learned in camp pays off here. Discipline learned on the ground pays off here. And discipline pays off here, when you're on your own, and your imagination plays tricks on you. Or is it your imagination? And you wish you were safe in the rear somewhere, and you feel like running away. But you don't run away. You've got your orders, and you stay at your post to protect yourself and your buddies. Now, it's a long way from that sentry post somewhere over there to this room somewhere in the USA. But over here, we'll find a boy who may someday be over there. This is Kurt Johnson. Like most boys, Kurt takes a dim view of discipline. He calls himself a rugged individualist. But what does that mean? Suppose we do a little thinking about Kurt and about you. Is this so-called rugged individualism, or is it self-discipline? Maybe you don't want to get up, but you have to be at school on time, so you get yourself up and get yourself ready. Maybe you're in the habit of making your bed and straightening your room. Maybe you've taken on other responsibilities around the house. Think about them. Aren't they disciplines you've accepted to make it easier for your family to live together? Oatmeal. Maybe one time you didn't like it, but if you learned to like it, you practiced self-discipline that made meals go better. Yes, chances are you're under more discipline than you realize. Of course, that rugged individualism may still show through.
Kurt, why hasn't this been fixed yet?
Gee, Dad, I was going to, but there have been so many things going on.
Kurt, we had an agreement about this. Will you come straight home from school this afternoon and fix it?
Gee, Dad, not this afternoon. Some of the fellows were going down.
Either it's fixed by dinner time tonight, Well, the car stays in the garage tonight.
Oh, Dad.
Well, what do you do in a case like that? If you snap out of it, take it in your stride, and do the job, that shows you've developed the self-discipline that characterizes a man. If you keep on sulking, feel sorry for yourself, then you've got some growing up to do before you enter service. In service, you get up. There's no time to fool around with a so-called rugged individualist who's feeling kind of sleepy. There are a lot of men here with a lot of things to do. Your first responsibility is to take care of yourself and your things, and do it right. Good old Mom won't be there to pick up after you. If you're finicky about your food, get over it. With a lot of mouths to feed, the cooks don't make it fancy. Just good, solid food. One thing more about military life. You'll take orders. However you reacted that time when Dad ordered you to do that repair job, in service, you'll take orders and carry them out. No matter what your assignment is in service, you'll take orders every day. Some orders you'll understand, and some orders you won't understand, but you'll still follow orders. You'll do what you're told, when you're told, how you're told. And it won't do you any good to protest or complain or feel sorry for yourself. Some of the orders you'll follow are in the form of rules and regulations. Maybe, like Kurt, you've been wondering how you'll get along trying to follow so many rules and regulations. Well, let's think about that. Will it really be such a new experience? Haven't you been following rules and regulations all your life? And you might as well admit it. You know they're necessary. What kind of mess would this corner be if people didn't follow the rules? You see, as long as just one person is involved in something, he can do pretty much as he pleases. But whenever people get together to do something, we need rules. And you know what we call a man who doesn't follow the rules. He's a poor sport. And the soldier who doesn't follow the rules is a poor soldier. Because he shows no respect for uniform regulations, you know immediately that this man is a poor soldier, don't you? This man wears his uniform with pride. Take your pick. Which kind of serviceman do you want to be? Military courtesy. That's another part of the same deal. Standing up, saluting, saying sir, these are the ways a military man shows his respect for his superiors. Think of it much as saying good morning to a neighbor, or your teacher, or your boss. For of course military courtesy is based upon common, everyday civilian courtesy. In fact, military life on the whole is not basically so different from civilian life. We learn discipline from the time we're small kids. We stick to rules and regulations whenever people have to do things together. The rules aren't hard to learn. We learn them quick when we need them. Rules for baseball or for soldiering. The important thing to remember about military life is that it's a life for men. The best way to get ready for that life is to grow up. Here's what we mean. Maybe you'll be ordered out of the game. You won't like it, but you know it would be childish to get sore or quit, so you follow orders. Discipline, self-discipline, is the difference between a child and a man. And discipline is the difference between a mob and an army. Discipline, which means your readiness to conform to the requirements of your leaders and your service. Think it over. If you're going into service, you'll want to do a good job. Military life is strict. but it's made up of the same elements that enable people to work together in civilian life. Courtesy and respect, rules and regulations, right and wrong ways of doing things, and so-called rugged individualism giving way to discipline and teamwork. Those are the things that spell out military life.